Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a full face of makeup that I hate. So, cat hair on my man. I have this box right here that I have been holding on to forever, and it is products that just don't work for me and that I really just do not like. And I wanted to do a full face of makeup that I do not like and give you like reviews of why I don't like them, so therefore you can kind of make your own decision. But just because they don't work for me doesn't mean that they won't work for you. It's just my personal experience with these products. So with that, I miraculously have a full box. Wait. I have a full face like within this box that I could do, and I thought, why not? People do this all the time, and like I personally really like them because I get to hear, you know, about products that are not all that great. And like a lot of the times you hear videos about products that they tend to like. So I've been planning on doing this video for a very long time, and it's literally just been sitting in my makeup room for like months, and I just never got around to it, so I thought, it's time, Danielle. So without further ado, if you want to hear why I don't like any of these products and watch me put it on my face, then make sure you keep watching. Okay, so the first thing that I have is this Bare Minerals Prep Step. It's just like a moisturizer really that has SPF in it, and it has like these microbeads, not really, but whatever you want to call them, in it that allows it to kind of like color match your skin somehow, so it isn't so white. The reason that I don't like this is I wish I did. I really wish I did, because it has such, you know, high SPF, and that'd be great for the summertime. However, it makes me break out. So that is the only reason I don't like it. It smells weird. It smells like freaking plastic, and I hate the way it smells. But I wish that I liked it. It just feels like like a lotion. God, I hate the smell. But it doesn't have like that sunscreeny feel to it, but you can tell it did kind of like white out my skin just a hair. So I'm gonna have to wash my face as soon as I take this makeup off, because for one, I don't like the way that it looks on my skin, and for two, because that will break me out. I think when I tried it the first time I got it in one of my BoxyCharms, broke me out in like 3 hours. So the next thing that I have is this CoverGirl Healthy Elixir Foundation. And man, this is another product that I wish I liked, but I don't. And the reason I don't like it is because it is very cakey on my skin. Like, it's very, very, very foundation-y. And I don't prefer a perfume smell either, which this does. So it is a very thick formula. This is definitely like full coverage. I mean, you can tell it's like barely even falling down my hand, but a lot of people love this foundation. I just don't really like it on my skin because of how thick it is, and it definitely looks like I have foundation on. So I'm using my Pure Cosmetics sponge that they have, and the reason that I don't like this is because it's so freaking hard. Now, the green one was a lot worse than this one, but still, it's just not as nice, and when you wet it, it doesn't help it at all. So that's really unfortunate. So I don't like this sponge. So not the best shade match. It is a little light for my skin tone right now. Focus, yes. However, still do not like the way that it lays on my skin. It's not as cakey, but it so accentuates all over the pores. Like, makes it look like I have pores that I don't even think I have. So, Next up is this concealer collection from Measurable Differences. So what this is a whole palette of concealers. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. So the main reason that I don't like them is because they are very dry and don't like really go on super seamlessly on the skin. And then there's like dust and fur all over this. And so I did read that you can add oil to it and that makes them perform a lot better. But how I feel is that if you're buying this, I typically, like when I first started collecting makeup, I didn't have an oil. I didn't really find a need for it. So if I were to buy this and the way to make it work is to add an oil to it, then I have to go out and buy an oil, and I just don't personally think that that is right. I think that it should be able to work without adding something else to it. So that's just my personal opinion. And it creased really bad. I don't remember it covering up the darkness very well. So I'm going to jump into this shade. Cappuccino is what I used before. So I remembered a lot of things. It is very dry. It was very hard to pick up, and it's been sitting in a box for a while, so I mean, like, that could be a part of it. However, I kind of remember it being that way from the get-go. Now on camera, I believe, at least in my viewfinder, it looks as if it did okay covering up those circles. Yes. In person though, that darkness is still there. I can still definitely see it, so it just is like putting a thin layer of a greasy concealer on top of it, because I remembered that it is greasy. I mean, do you see like that sheen that's underneath my eyes? It is not cute. I do not recommend. I think that you can like almost make anything work, but I just personally, I'm not sure you can make that product work. I don't know. It could be me, but I don't know. So the next thing that I'm going to use is something that I'm so sad, because I spent a decent amount of money on this when I was first buying my makeup to grow my collection, and I was trying to buy, you know, savvy products that I thought would really, really work, and this one is not my favorite. So this is from Tarte. It is a Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Finishing Powder. Here's why I don't like it. The packaging is adorable. I freaking love. Can you see that? Can you see that? Let's try it again so you can see it. Man, I hope you can see all of that powder dust that just came up out of this when I opened it. So this is such a fine powder that you can tell that it's very, very small, very, very fine. And what it is also is very, very white. So what's gonna happen when I put this on is it's gonna dust everywhere, and it is going to have really, really, really bad flashback, and that's why I don't like it. It's just so white. Like, I would not bake with this. It does a good job brightening, but if you're wanting to bake, it's gonna end up brightening areas that you don't want, because people like to, you know, like chisel out this, and you don't really want that to be super bright like you would underneath your eyes. But I mean, it does like really smooth out the skin. I just wish that it wasn't such a finely milled powder. That's the only thing. Like, that's the main thing. And then it wasn't so stark white. I wish they offered like translucent ones or beige ones. I think that would be really, really good too. But just with that white color, it's just gonna have such horrendous flashback that you aren't gonna want to do, and it got all over the place. So next up is this Bronze Essentials from Butte Basics. And sorry, you're gonna hear a mower in the background. And so this is a bronzer with a shimmer added into it, and it's supposed to give you a really nice glow. All it does is put glitter all over your face. I wish that I could like this type of product, but I personally don't like shimmer in my bronzer 99.99% of the time. I can't make it work. Like, you can't just like get into that, and then the glitter gets everywhere. It does not work out well. I also feel that it doesn't like really bronze up my skin too much. You noticing that? Like there's really not that much going on. Not as much as I personally prefer. Oh, I forgot to contour. Oh well. I did have a product from Ulta Beauty, this contour kit, and it just, the colors don't work for me. They just turn out muddy. Now you can see it. It's just not my favorite palette, okay? So I don't like it. Next is this thing from Real Her Be Fearless, Be Limitless Blush Kit. So it came with 3 blushes. And the reason I don't really like this is because 2 of the blushes are shimmery, and I do not like shimmery on my blush. And then the one that's not shimmery is like freaking coral hot pink, and I don't like that either. So I like that it's not as shimmery as the other ones. That one's very, very shimmery, which, there. It's just not my favorite type of blush, and I love blush, so I think I would be able to make this work. Yes, feelings are the same. It looks okay on camera, but in person it's just shimmer. Okay, so it's this Pixie Bay Petra Blush Duo. So these swatches swatch just like a highlighter would. This is 100% not a blush in my opinion. However, don't really like it as a highlight either. It just like doesn't really give you much, you see? And I just mix these 2 together, and it's just like kind of there, but kind of not really there. And it's 100% not my favorite thing to highlight with. It looks fine on camera, but in person it just looks like little specks of glitter, and I'm not a fan of that, so this is not my personal favorite thing to use. I've lost my damn mind. So I put on mascara before I did my eyeshadow. Why? I don't know. Probably because I'm slightly hungover. I think there is worth mentioning that my chest is very, very shimmery from the bronzer. So it wasn't going on my cheeks. It was going on my chest. What? Okay, anyways, I use this Maybelline The Colossal Volume Express Mascara. I don't like this mascara because it's a very watery formula. I don't prefer watery formulas. I prefer kind of chunkier, thicker ones because I really don't have lashes, and this really doesn't look like I did anything. And not to mention, like, it doesn't do much for my lashes anyways. They're already falling, and so we're gonna go ahead and go into eyeshadow, and this will be interesting seeing how I already put on mascara. But this is the e.l.f. Nude Rose Gold palette. Oh no. Let's try it again. So this palette retails for $10, and she tested me. So the colors, some of them would not blend. They wouldn't give off much payout. They just didn't perform as well as I was hoping that they would. I will swatch them out for you real quick. Here is everything swatched. Now the shimmers, I don't have a problem with. The shimmers actually swatch very nicely. It's the mattes that I have a problem with. Like this one does not give any payoff. Like you can definitely tell that this just isn't the greatest, and I thought that it would be because their Mad for Mattes palette, a lot of people rant and rave about it, like they are great. So I thought that this one would be just as good because it should be the same formula, and they were out of the Mad for Matte one, so I messed up there. But you can tell it just kind of lacks luster. They don't really like give up, the mattes at least don't really like pop and don't really give much of anything really to show up on my skin tone. I don't know if they would look better on very fair skin tone. All I know is it doesn't look the greatest on me. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of like, to make it quicker, just kind of like point and put on, you know? Like, even looking at this on the viewfinder is so freaking pretty, but it's just not in person. Okay, so I have a lot to say. These are a lot dustier than what I remembered. So very powdery, very like fine, and kind of like puff up when you dip your brush into them. I have some fallout right here. Yeah, can't get it off though. So it's staying there for the duration of this video. So I definitely recommend, like, if you still would like to go out and get this palette, you do your eyes first before your foundation. This color right here is fine as a transition shade, but it really didn't have too much color payout, honestly. Like, I had to really build it up, which is fine, but still. And then this one kind of added some depth, but I had to really work with it before it actually gave me any sort of color payout. This one is kind of patchy and made things look a little muddy and not as dark, you know, as it looks in the pan. Definitely not as dark when it's swatched out on the hand, in my opinion, and even looks kind of patchy in that swatch. This one, it was a very fine glitter that would look better over top of something, so I really had to pack it on there, and this one did okay. That one did fine. So, oh, I forgot to like highlight my brow bone. So I'm just gonna use this shade right here to highlight my inner corner, which that didn't really do anything. It looks alright underneath my brow bone. It's just a little too pink for my taste when it comes to highlighting. I think that the only thing that I really like in this palette is this one right here. That one's fine too. Because like I love white colors, and that one did a fine job when it swatched on my hand. Like there's no issue with it, and that one actually did really well on the lid. Now, does that make this worth it? Not in my opinion. What I do think though, if you're a beginner, man, I keep digging my nails. If you're a beginner trying to test out new makeup and you want something that's very like beginner friendly, that doesn't have too much of a punch when you first put it on, then I think that this could be a good palette for you, and it's inexpensive, so therefore you're not really spending a lot of money, and you can subtly build up those colors. Now, do I think that this on camera looks good? Yes. Do I think in person it was what I was envisioning? No. So it looks okay, but just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to like these sort of things. Like, for one, you can make anything look good and work for the most part. I mean, I would go out in this if I absolutely had to. For two, things look a lot better on camera than they do in person. So I personally like those people that also attest to how things look for them in person, rather than just like, oh, okay, that looks good. Yeah, we're good. Things look good. You know what I mean? So always keep, you know, that sort of stuff in mind. So the last thing that I'm going to use is this NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick. This is in the shade 02 Life's a Beach. Now, I just don't like the color. Too pink for me and not gonna match this lip or this eye look. So I personally hate this color. It is way too vibrant. Ooh, it's all over my teeth. I feel like a clown. Good thing I just showered today. Where's that? Obviously, this is very, very patchy. I hope that's picking up on the camera as well. I personally am not a huge fan of the formula because it just slips and it slides and like you can't really get it to stick to the lip all that well to create it to not be patchy. But that is everything for this video. I cannot wait to go wash off my face. I'm not feeling this look. I hope that you liked this type of video so you could kind of get a more in-depth idea of why I don't like these products and why these products did not work for me. But again, remember, just because they don't work for me, it doesn't mean they won't work for you. But this is just my experience with them, and my experiences is not good. So, you know. But with that is all I have to say. I need to wash my face. That is everything for this video. If you do like these types of videos, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up so I know. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that little notification bell so you do not miss any time that I post. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.